What's up, everybody? This is Kobe with Amor IT Solutions. So, I want to talk about, do you need managed services if you own an IT business? Okay. Whether it's a small business, medium, or large, do you need help with your business as far as your infrastructure, network security? Um, so, a lot of people think, especially with small businesses, that they really don't need um, any type of like monitoring or someone looking after their network 24/7. They feel like they can handle it on their own. Some places do require you to actually have certain um, security checks. Like one, for instance, is like a dentist office, but this really could hold true to pretty much any type of doctor's offices. A lot of them have regulations where they have to follow like HIPAA, health insurance. I think it's what Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. So basically, the key aspects of HIPAA compliance, and this one I looked up is just for dentist offices, or it says it includes with dentist offices. Data encryption, protecting patient data at rest and in transit through encryption methods. Basically, what that means is um, your data on your computer needs to be encrypted. Basically, it needs to be encrypted in a way so that if something happens, say like a laptop, you lost it and someone got a hold of it, or they took the hard drive out and tried to access the information on there, it would be encrypted. So it would be not impossible to be able to get the information off of there, but it would be difficult for them. Let's see, the second one, access controls, limiting access to patient data based on employee roles and need to know basis. So this is kind of like, say, if you had a Windows server and you had an Active Directory, an Active Directory would basically be, to simplify it for people, you know how like maybe at your work or previous work, you would have to sign into a computer with your username and password. And basically, that's a somewhat of a security measure so that you can't just walk onto a computer and access information that you shouldn't be accessing. With Active Directory, they have like roles and basically they can make it so that, say you don't want your line staff people seeing your accounting firms or your accounting, um, I guess your accounting side of your business, to be able to access that information, employee records, payroll, social security, addresses and stuff like that. So you want to separate it by security. So that's kind of what that means there. Firewall protection, implementing firewalls to monitor and control network traffic. So a firewall or a router slash firewall will protect you from the outside elements. A lot of people don't realize that even in a home router, um, you're constantly getting attacked from the outside on the internet. Your router and your firewall is set to protect your LAN connections, which would be your internal network. So if I have my phone and it's on the wireless network in my house, then my firewall or router is protecting it from the outside. So when I'm surfing the internet, Um, I'm much more protected with having a firewall and not having to worry about people trying to break into my devices or do some nefarious things. Um, Regular backups, maintaining regular data backups to prevent data loss in case of system failure. So we always talk about the 3-2-1 um, backup plan. Um, you basically want to have three different places where you are backing up your data. A lot of people don't implement this. They basically um, will have, just something on like a laptop. They keep all of their information on there, all of their data, their pictures, uh, vacation pictures, baby photos, but sometimes even, more sensitive stuff like social security numbers, like I said before, addresses, client information. So, or payroll stuff, your bank information or a customer's bank information, that type of stuff, you definitely need to have secured and backed up. If you have a system failure, um, and you keeping everything on one computer, how are you going to access that stuff, and how long is it going to take you to be able to retrieve that stuff, if even possible to retrieve it? Because your hard drive could be damaged um, to such a degree that you may not be able to access the information on the hard drive. So having it on I like to tell customers to keep things on like a dedicated like network attached storage, like a server, NAS, they call them. So I don't keep a lot of stuff on my laptop or my desktop computer. I access everything from my network attached storage device. So it's a separated device that, when I'm pulling up Word documents or Excel documents, um, I'm saving uh, certain data, everything is on there and it's accessed from my computer, but it's not really stored on my computer. So if my laptop burned up in a fiery whatever, inferno, whatever, um, I wouldn't really have to worry about the loss of my data because I know that I have it on that NAS. Now, the other thing that you want to talk about with backups is don't want to just rely on your information being on your main computer or like on one backup device. What happens if you have that backup device in your house and there's a fire or a flood? So it doesn't really help you that maybe you have it on, your laptop and or desktop and your NAS device. If you have a fire or flood, it's all gone. So what you want to do is have a offsite backup somewhere where you're storing this information outside of your house or outside of your business in a separate location. Um, that way, if disaster happens, that you know that you have a copy of your most sensitive data away from your house or away from your business. Employee training, educating staff on cybersecurity best practices, including password hygiene and phishing awareness. Um, yeah, I mean, you always want to, if you've got employees, I know a lot of, especially small businesses that do not have this practice. They have very little to no training for their employees. They don't talk about what to do or what not to do with certain things, like, an email maybe that they pull up and they're not quite sure if it is a legitimate email and it has a website to click on, and clicking on those websites or those links can cause some pretty bad security issues. So those types of things, text messages, even. I mean, you're seeing a lot of this happening. You've got employees with personal phones, some business phones, and you're seeing a lot of this malware or phishing attempts from text messaging or obviously emails that you can access on your phone. So definitely training your employees on what not to click on, trying to vet some of these websites or emails that you're getting before you're just going and opening up stuff. Let's see. Incident response plan, having a defined process to respond to security breaches or incidences. So it's just basically a backup plan. What happens if, you're hit with ransomware, that takes over all of your computers, all of your data? What type of plan do you have if the building is on fire, and it gets burnt to the ground? You should have some type of incident response plan um, to when something like this happens. I mean, this is just something that every business should have. I mean, you should not even a business. I mean, even if you're doing stuff like residents, home stuff. We all have some type of sensitive data that we have that we can't do without. Some of it's like pictures, pictures of your kids that you have, or vacations that you went on, or pictures of when you got married, your honeymoon. Some of these things are irreplaceable. If you lose them, you don't have them backed up to somewhere. You don't have a plan, to retrieve these things or to back them up. Then you're just SOL at that point. So you never want to be in that position. And then security audits, regular accessing the network for vulnerabilities and taking corrective actions. That just basically means, there's security threats out there all the time. They're growing. Every day you hear about some company that ends up getting hacked, that gets hit with ransomware. A lot of these small businesses that happens to, and they can't recover from it. It's just, they lose a lot of money and time, and some of them will go under because of it. So having your network basically tested to make sure that you don't have ports open when you don't need to, that there's no vulnerabilities out there that hackers or somebody from the inside or outside would try to take advantage of your network. Um, so that's like doctor's offices or dentists, to be specific. That's um, let's see. And then I pulled up another one with accounting firms. It says typically need companies offering managed services. Let's see. Key points for, it says MSSPS, which is just managed security service providers. Basically, need someone expertise in accounting data, specializing in accounting, can understand the unique vulnerabilities and data types within the industry, threat monitoring and response. They actively monitor or of potential cyber threats that can quickly respond to incidences. That's the same thing. It's like doctor's offices. You want a managed service provider to be able to monitor your business 24/7. So obviously, a lot of businesses aren't open 24/7. So even on your downtimes, if you're a Monday through Friday place, 8 to 5, well, you need somebody that's not only looking at your network from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, but they're also doing it on the weekends, or they're doing it past 5 o'clock, at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you got hit with a cyber attack, what measures do they have in place as an MSP to try and protect you? What types of things do they do as far as reaching out to a manager or the owner as the stuff is taking place? So those are definitely things that you want to look at with a managed service provider, and why you should have one if you own a business. Compliance support. I know with accounting, they deal with the IRS, and I'm sure the IRS has a lot of stringent things that they put on place for, accounting firms. Let's see what else here. It just talks about cybersecurity consultants, cloud security providers. endpoint security vendors, data encryption. So, yeah, I mean, I would say that you shouldn't just look at some of these like doctor's offices or accounting firms, and having sensitive data and having a lot of these practices put in place. It's not just for them. It's really for any business. Any business can be hacked. Any business can get hit with ransomware. You can have all of your information encrypted, erased. So definitely any type of business, I would recommend, especially if you have employees or if you are a business um, dealing with a lot of, um, in transactions between different clients, definitely having a managed service provider watching over your business 24/7 is a lot better than having like a break fix situation where a lot of businesses they don't want to pay monthly for that type of service. They want to basically call you when something's wrong. Well, the problem is with that is that, if you have something urgent happens, you get hit with ransomware, let's say, and all your computers and servers are infected. And then you call the IT company that you've been using, in a break fix situation. Basically, it's broke and I'm calling you to fix it. Well, they may not be able to get to you for hours or days or sometimes weeks if they're backed up. That's part of the problem with not having managed services. A managed service provider you're in a contract with them that basically says that if something's wrong, that we will get to it as quickly as possible. I mean, you're basically at the top of the list as far as you know, needing to have services um, if something were to go wrong. So, so I actually had a potential client call me today. He has a small business, sole proprietor. I think trying to think what was the business he had. Um, I think it was in financing. And he told me that there were certain requirements that he had as far as like his network being secure and having backups. Um, so he was calling around because I think he had another IT company that he was using that he wasn't happy with. I think he said that, it would take a long time when he would call for them to answer him or get things resolved. And so he was kind of shopping around. He's in the same county as us, which is Leelanau County. And he was wanting to basically find out what type of services we offered and our pricing and whatnot. So I talked to him probably for a good half an hour and, um, sent him an estimate of basically our managed services of how much it would cost. And hopefully we hear back from the guy. But like I said, this guy has his own business, but like I said, he's a sole proprietor. So, um, he doesn't, I don't believe he doesn't have any employees. So I think he works he has an office like an empire, but he likes to work from home a lot. So he needs like VPN access. He wants to be able to access his network when he's away from home and whatnot. So, anyways, hopefully, like I said, I hear from that guy. We're definitely for 2025 trying to get more customers for managed services. So if you do know somebody in the area, I mean, it could be anywhere in Michigan. But like I said, we're in Leelanau County, so anywhere in Leelanau, Grand Traverse County, and some of the surrounding areas like Wexford County or Kalkaska, Petoskey, Charlevoix. Definitely, if you know someone or you have a business and you're in need of a managed service provider, an IT company to help you with your business, please reach out to us. You can reach us at uh, our phone number 231-944-0799 or or email info@amoreitsolutions.com. If you go to the website, amoreitsolutions.com, there's a contact page, and you can go to it here. You can basically just fill out this page with whatever you need and click it, submit it, and then we'll get back to you in a timely manner. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up, I guess. I also am gonna be doing. I think I'm gonna be doing live streams on Tuesday evenings, probably. I'm thinking like 6 p.m., between 6 and 8 p.m., and they will be basically, obviously geared towards IT, um, and talking about, different, I guess, different categories, different things as far as like backups or something like this, like managed services, ransomware protection, um, different products that you might be using. You might need like a different router or switch or wireless access point, or maybe like setting up a new network and needing wireless access throughout your whole entire business. Those types of topics we're going to talk about on Tuesdays. And then I'm hoping at some point to get some people either that are in the IT business, or even like people that just have their own businesses in, say, Grand Traverse County or Leelanau County, and they want to come on to like a podcast, or they want to just be interviewed and they could talk about their business. It would be a great way to get their information out to a bunch of other people. And then we would be showing that or sharing that on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So if, again, you have a business or know somebody that would like to get onto the podcast, we would love to be able to do that with you guys. So definitely send them again to our website, email address, or phone. Thanks. That about does it for tonight, and we'll see you guys on the next one.